Hello, my name is Kyle Jepson. Today I'm going to be presenting the event I worked on called Rexpo. The event took place on September 5th of 2019 from 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. in the evening, and it happened at the Bronco Recreation and Intramural Complex here at Cal Poly Pomona. It was a large-scale event that spanned our entire complex from every floor to even the outside common area. The event had activities and programs testing what they were going to have for the year with participants, so participants could possibly find what they might like to partake in during the school year of 2019-2020, as well as give students a chance to see if there are any job opportunities for them in departments they might be interested in working. So for the event, we wanted to make sure our target audience was specific to Cal Poly Pomona students between the ages of 18 and 24. The reason for that is because that is roughly the average age of college students these days. Our secondary target market was going to be Cal Poly Pomona staff, as well as the students of ages 25 and up, because there are a smaller portion of that demographic here on campus, as well as a small portion of the staff that would be interested in using the brick. Our tertiary market would be the public and any Cal Poly Pomona alumni. We are an open gym for those who would want to buy a membership to the gym, and it works about the same. It's monthly and yearly memberships you can buy as a member of the public. Our market would specifically be residents of Pomona between the ages of 18 and 27, and there would be something we would appreciate getting, but not something we'd necessarily go after. Our objectives, starting with our media objectives, would be to increase the reach of our marketing by 20% by September 5th for the event, as well as make sure that our event does stand out among the campus community. And we also would like to reach our target market starting by August 29th to make sure they had a good amount of exposure to the events before it actually happened. Going on next would be the advertising objectives. We wanted to make sure we increase the target market's intent to attend the event by 20%, and we wanted to make sure that was completed by September 4th. And we also wanted to grow our social media accounts by 20%, and we would measure that past the event up until October 1st. Next would be our financial objectives. So we really wanted to increase the sales at the Bricks Pro Shop by 15%, and we were going to measure that between the time of the event and measure to how much we sold during the event last year as well. We also wanted to increase the sales of the Intramurals All Access Pass by 20%, and we measured that till October 1st, as well as increase the fitness sales by 15% up until December 13th. We also wanted to make sure member services sales would go up by 10% for the semester as well, which would end also December 13th. We also wanted to achieve help through Beat to sponsor an entertainment, whether it be a musical act or a DJ, which we achieved, and we were able to get a DJ sponsored for us through the organization Beat Campus. Our last main objectives would be public relations. We wanted to make sure we garnered at least 2 non-ASI media sources, being the Inland Valley newspaper and the Poly Post. We wanted both to be approved by August 22nd to use as marketing. We wanted to also increase the approval rating of the brick and the overall status of it by December 13th. We wanted to make sure there was a 20% increase in positive relations with the campus community and make sure there'd be more of a use to students. We would be measuring that specifically through surveys taken by members. So what I took part in during the event was risk assessment. As you notice, I am a worker here at the Brick. I'm a student supervisor for the intramural department, and I run the department with 2 other assistants, with 2 other supervisors, as well as manage risk assessment and emergency response. I helped with emergency response for the event, where we would train for all accidents, including any harm to any participants or any injuries that might happen. Also, I wanted to make sure our staff was instructed how to do first aid and how to it, interact with participants to make sure they felt like they were being taken care of in the right way. We also wanted to make sure they were trained for any natural disasters and also assessed to help with if there was a shooter. Those are things we really take importance on at the BRIC as Cal Poly Pomona campus in whole. And we wanted to make sure they were trained in how to identify the issue and proper steps to make sure themselves and other participants would be safely evacuated, sheltered in place, and taken care of. Our last would be the competition risk. We had the risk of the LA County Fair at the time taking away what we wanted from our market. We wanted to make sure that our target audience knew we were an event to attend that day and sort of make us stand out from the LA County Fair because it was a risk to us that that event was going on at the same time. Next in the presentation is our SWOT analysis. Starting with the strengths and weaknesses, I want to highlight a couple key features for the strengths and same for the weaknesses. So first, I wanted to start with we were the only event on campus that day, and it means we were able to reach a majority part of our target market, which is extremely good for our turnout. Also, we have a lot of equipment we already own at the BRIC, which means we did not have to access any vendors and we never had to purchase any other equipment. Moving down the list, a very key important role of the BRIC is we have a very well-trained and prepared student staff. Our student staff is trained frequently and professionally in medical response and emergency response for any disasters. Also, in case of any disasters or medical issues, we had quick response times with UPD due to how close we are to them on campus, as well as our facility is extremely modern, clean, and well maintained. Next, we're going to move on to the weaknesses. So since we are a student-run department, that is also a weakness because students tend to have schedules that we can't always move around, and there are sometimes could be shifts that are not always fulfilled. We also have a very limited space at the BRIC, which means we are not always able to manage a large crowd because when a large crowd does happen to come in, it's very hard to keep areas open for others when this crowd is taking up so much space. Next would be the opportunities. So a few of the key opportunities is that we had abilities to teach our participants about more than just what we had at the BRIC, but they were able to test what they liked and make sure they figured out where they might want to participate in. Next is freshmen and transfer students had a huge introduction to the building as one of their first contacts with the ASI. It's very possible that they would find a good home at the BRIC and make sure they found things they would like to do there so they would come back more often. As well as we were able to test new programs, which is always key because we don't always know how programs might respond to participants, and it's very important that we use what metrics we get back from this to make sure what we can offer during the year, as well as improve current programs and also promote jobs at the BRIC. For the threats, we do understand there are classes during the event, although it is late on a Thursday. There are some night classes that could keep students from coming. Also, we always have safety threats, safety as in medical threats, because being a gym, there are parts of the facility that could inflict harm on students who are using them. So we always make sure we have students, staff that is staying vigilant and prepared in case anyone is hurt. A key threat was the LA County Fair on that day because we understand that although it is ran for some time and our events only that evening, the LA County Fair is still a large event that we understand our target market might want to go to as well, and we had to make sure we stood out. Next, I'm going to go on to our budget. Our budget was fairly simple. We only had $3,000 to work with for the event. We spent $1,000 on catering, $300 on giveaways, and $1,000 on event merchandise. We, however, did not need to spend our $700 budget on entertainment because of a sponsorship we had with Beat. Our total used of the budget was $2,296.35. Next is the media schedule. We had 7 forms of media through the 3 categories. For our print media, we had a CPP newspaper ad running for the week of the event, which started September 1st and ended September 5th. We also had handbills that were being passed out and signs that we were staking into the ground along walkways around campus. Both started on August 1st of 2019 and ended on September 5th of 2019. The next category is social media, and there we had a Facebook event that was started in July of 2019 and ended on September 5th of 2019. And our Instagram and Twitter accounts had events and advertising posted starting August 1st of 2019 and ended September 5th, 2019. Lastly, we had a BRIC radio announcement that would play daily in the gym itself. That announcement started July 1st of 2019 and also ended September 19th of 2019. Next are our features, attributes, and benefits. Starting off, one of our first features is we are one of the most modern and newest rec centers in the CSU system. It is made out of 80% recycled material, which means it is extremely environmentally friendly, and we are able to maintain that through our low usage of utilities. We're also one of the first CSU rec centers that are open to the public, which is why it was one of our target markets. Next is we have one of the tallest rock wall in the CSU system, and as well as in California. We also have 11 unique departments that are student ran with their supervisors and pro staff. We promote health and safety through exercise, health classes, and any amount of fitness you think you could have at the BRIC. We also have many opportunities to get involved through jobs as well as events, activities, and programs. And lastly, the benefits. We benefit greatly on how much first aid we're able to provide and as exercise training we're able to provide. We also have an internal accomplishment we feel like we can give students through a healthy lifestyle of going to the BRIC, using our facilities, and making themselves able to feel good about themselves through physical exercise. And lastly, for students, there is no out-of-pocket costs. All of our normal events are free. The only things that cost any extra funds are intramural all access pass and any fitness classes or adventures classes you'd want to take. And lastly, I want to talk about our success benchmarks. We wanted to make sure we had 300 guests attend the event. We were achieving for more, but we would be extremely happy with 300 because that is a slight increase from our previous year. We also really wanted to get entertainment underwritten, so we wouldn't have to just play our BRIC radio. Through Beat, we were able to get a DJ underwritten and had that entertainment. We also wanted to get a minimum of 30 membership signups. That'd be a goal we'd be happy achieving, even though more is what we would have wanted. We also wanted a 15% increase in guests from previous year. That roughly would have been about 300, but our main goal and our ideal goal would have been about 30%. Also, we wanted to make sure we filled 80% of our activities for the event that night, whether it was the small-scale intramural games, small-scale adventure classes, and small-scale fitness classes, as well as any open rec items we were leaving open. And we also wanted to make sure our social media was increased by 10%. Increasing this following means we're able to reach more students on a daily basis whenever we send out any messages or posts. Lastly, we always want to make sure students understand we do hire pretty frequently, and we wanted to gain interest in students to be employees at the BRIC and follow through with working there. And I want to thank everyone for watching my presentation, and I hope everyone has a great day.